So we covered the eating part quite extensively. I think my audience would agree here.
Yeah.
Well, how about not eating, fasting? I think you do cover fasting as well in the book. So how important is it for heart health?
Yeah, I think that it's a strategy that can be used. There's definitely a lot of evidence that fasting will help with cardiometabolic risk factors. Again, those aren't the end all be all as far as assessing your risk of heart disease, but there's a lot of evidence there. I think it makes sense that there were times when humans, weren't constantly eating all day long, and this idea of 3 meals a day has definitely been marketed by the food industry very heavily. I think that, and I've actually, I used to think that, just an 8 hour window, no matter when it was, or an 8 to 10 hour window, no matter when it was useful. I think that the morning is better, like eating earlier in the day and not eating later in the day, especially 3 to 4 hours before bed, just because of what it, as far as our natural circadian rhythm and how that helps with it. So I think the eating, within 30 minutes to an hour of waking is very useful. And then cutting your eating window off, 3 to 4 hours before bed is probably the best strategy. But yeah, fasting definitely makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. It's shown to have plenty of benefits. And there's some studies that show that even if you don't change what you're eating, if you just change when you're eating and you restrict the time, then you get the same benefits as if you changed what you ate. So I think still what you eat is very important too, but it's just interesting that the timing is also very important.
Stephen, let's talk about something that you call dopamine fast.
Yeah.
In the book, that was completely new to me, and I was fascinated by it. And it makes sense. Why do we need to take a break from the constant dopamine release? And how does
Yes.
it protect our heart?
Yes, dopamine is just this molecule that's secreted, kind of, it's like the reward kind of signal for your brain. So we get a little surge of dopamine every time we check something off a list, or every time we check our phones, check an email, or it's kind of like this little satisfaction thing. However, in today's society, I think that marketing companies, they know this type of thing, and so they put a lot of things in front of our face. They get us almost addicted to this dopamine surge, and when that happens, we just want more and more and more of it, and that can lead to this imbalance in the autonomic nervous system, because we're constantly seeking that surge of dopamine. And so what can be very useful is this thing that I heard of called dopamine fasting, where you literally go and you remove all sources of these surges of dopamine. So that means you're not eating, because that will surge dopamine. It means you're not watching TV, you're not reading, you're not talking to anybody. Literally what I do is I try and just go sit in the woods for as long as I can. And so some people do it for, half a day or a whole day. If you can carve time out of your schedule to do that, then do that. But it could also be as simple as like doing an hour in like these sensory deprivation tanks, they have, where they have one here in my town where you can go and it's just like dark in there and you're floating in this high salt water. So you're just floating in the tub on your back, and it's dark, and you don't hear anything, you don't see anything, you don't really feel anything because you're floating in water. And it's really like this sensory deprivation. So it's removing this all these dopamine surges. So things like that can be incredibly useful as far as maintaining balance in our autonomic nervous system.